Hi, and welcome to my channel at Bunny Hollow Crafts. I haven't put up anything in the latest time because we're just a very fluid and busy family, but I'm going to make a little album out of this. I just pulled this out of my stash. I've got two of these are Bo Bunny, so I just figured a little spring album out of that. So I'm going to do it one page at a time to upload these videos. So the finished project, of course, will come at the end, but that's the way this busy crafter has to do it. So hang on and we'll make the album. Okay, to start, I've cut two pieces of chipboard that are 6.5 by 6.5, and I made a 2.5-inch spine that's also 6.5, of course, and two pieces of 65-pound white cardstock. So I'm just going to glue these pieces together to make the length to cover the chipboards. That should be plenty. Try to get on there straight, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to have extra paper as usual. This is plenty of length, right? So plenty of length. So we can always straighten them up afterwards. I'm going to do this with glue. Don't usually do that, but I want to do this on the quick, and it works with either, really. I wish I didn't have on my fine metal tip. I may change to do glue on the other, but I'm just in a little bit of a hurry. I know I dropped some glue, but it'll be all right. So put this in the middle, top to bottom and across where we made the seam, right? And just push her down real good. I am going to cover these with score tape. That's just what I usually do, and let me do that and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, I have score tape on the back of this, and we're just going to take off the tapes. I am refilming this part because I give you some bad information. So anyway, that's the reason that side's already done. I'm redoing this side just to show you how I did it. I'm going to put a little tape in the middle of where the little glue in the middle between the tapes. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, when you put this down, I always come in at an angle like that, grab it with my fingers, and then just kind of sit it down on the edge. You want to leave it between an 1/8 and 1/4, shorter than 1/4, just a little more than an 1/8. When you feel comfortable, just lay it down. Since I have some glue in there, I'm going to give it a minute's pressure to adhere. I'm going to take my Tim Holtz ruler. You don't need to do this, but I just like it tidy. Put it in there. Let me turn it over. And get my little X-Acto and just whack off the end, because don't need to waste glue or tape, right? That we would otherwise be putting on this whole piece. So I'm just going to cut those off. And the ends look fine. So, all right, I like to take my album and bend it forward and backward to start that bending paper. The paper's got to know. So go forward that way. Try to do it on the ends. It's a little awkward, but it'll work. Okay, and then just fold up. All this pre-folding helps a lot with putting your album together. The paper's got to get used to bending. And folding it helps us create our lines here where we're going to have to miter our corner. So just push it down really well all the way around. Okay, let's come back in and cut off those corners. You want to leave about the same amount that you left in here down there. I've just done it so many times I've gotten used to it, but can you see? I'll leave it pause there. It's just, and it doesn't matter if you go wonky, whatever you do down here, it's going to get covered up. I don't want you guys to stress over your albums. So I'll just go through quickly and do that. A lot of things in crafting get covered up and you never see it, so don't stress too much on all those little things. Okay, I'm going to put tape all the way around and then we'll put it together. Okay, tape is all around, so I took off my fine metal tip. Let me take the tape off. Gosh, I did burnish it down. This is not score tape, this is just some I had in my stash. Then take off your tapes. There is nothing better than score tape. I wish I had it. I'll have to order some more. Anyway, put a bead of glue across there. I've always done this. Well, not always, but since I've done it, I've not had an album crack. So I like to take my little score tool. You could do it with, oh, what's the other tool I have? This. You could do it with either, something like that. And just push the paper against the chipboard. Just slowly. I mean, I think if you take your time, you run a much better risk of having the album that you're going to want to have. So from there, just push down in the middle. We have tape and glue on there. Just push down, push up and out. Just like that. Okay, and we'll do this one. Take off the tapes. Okay, this was burnished down. I don't like this tape. That's why I'm adding glue. I don't really know what brand of tape this is, but I'm sure it will work. But add some glue in there along the chipboard. And then kind of in the middle there. Okay, so with the score tool, just push paper to chipboard. Gives you a nice edge. Just push it towards you, up and away. And glue is coming out. That's a good thing. You get a Kleenex. When glue comes out, you know it got all the way to the corner, so I never get too anxious about that. You see this ugly corner? I'm leaving that in there to show you, and I did it on purpose to show you that it's going to work out. So take your thumb. I've seen people do it with their score tool. I've never done it that way. I don't want to do it that way. I think it would work. I'm sure it would. I've seen them do it. But I just push it in with my thumbs. You just want to flatten it out and get it straight. So, not straight, but just, so take off this tape. Yeah, I mean, this tape is not good. Okay, I'm going to put glue in here, always, but up in here. And we'll definitely have glue come out, but I don't care. Okay, push that up against. And just lay it over. I'm going to do it with my, because I know there's going to be glue. Yeah, look at that. But it's okay. Take your tool and come back in here, push that down. Get those corners nice and flat. Clean off the glue. Push these in. Let me take the tape off first. I think it's easier. I know I have glue on me. I haven't been doing any crafts in a while. It's messy. Speaking of that, I hope everyone had a good Christmas. I sure did. I just push those in. This is our ugly corner. Your glue in there. Push forward. And lay it down. Push with your bone folder, get all that glue spread out. I know there's glue going everywhere. It just doesn't matter. You're going to cover up most of this. There's our little ugly corner. That piece, it's trying to glue down there. If I had fingernails, I could pick it up. There we go. Just going to rip it off. Okay. So, push that down really good. Get it to adhere. It's more glue. Okay. Wipe up that mess because it will get everywhere if you don't. Okay. Now take your bone folder, and you can already see this where you need to mark. Just mark in there, just lightly score so that you can bend. Helps the album to bend. There we go. Beautiful, crisp, clean, no problems. Okay, it's going to be a 3-page album, so I've got 3 pages that are cut 6 by 6 and one that is 6 by 7, or 3 that are 6 by 7. There's 3 pages here. I just cut them all at a time with my bigger cutter, 3 pages. So on the 7-inch side, you need to just get 1 in here. And then we're going to score a 1/2 inch on this side and a 1/2 inch on this side. And do that to all 3 pieces. 3, what am I saying? 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. This is 3. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay. Now, we'll fold these. And this will make your 6 by 6 size. That looks gracious more than us. What have I done? Yeah, that's scored wrong. Gotta watch. These things do happen. So back to 7-inch side. I don't know what I did. Score at 6.5. Probably came out of my score mark. Okay. So anyway, easily fixed. Okay, burnish down well. Do that to all 3 pieces of your 7-inch width. You know, get them folded, and then we'll put the pages together. Okay, we have our pages with our tape on. I went back to score tape because I have the size for this. Just burnish your tapes down really well. I always take off just a little bit of the tape, just a little ways. Take one of my 6 by 6s, match it over on this side, then that side. Get it straight. And push it down. And then holding it, pull your tape. Okay, and then this side, same. Push it down from the middle. You don't want to bubble in there. And just pull your tape. Okay, so the same with the other 2 pages, and then we'll start flips and flaps. That's the fun of the album. We're going to make the hinge now because I want to start with this, and so we need to get our hinge. I'm going to put a pocket in the front. So if our album is 6.5 inches tall, I'm going to cut this. This is lightweight. I'm going to cut it at, let's see, where our album is 6.5. I'm going to cut it at 6. Our pages are 6. Our pages are 6. Let's double check. Pages are 6. Okay. So I'm going to cut it shorter than that because this piece of paper has to fit in that page. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5, 5 and a little bit over, but not much over. And then we'll just double check it real quick with a page because this is your hinge. And it has to easily go in. Okay, so I think we can get away with 1 piece of paper. We may need 2, but let's just, I don't need this. I need my scoreboard. I told you I've not been crafting in a minute. All right, so save this. We'll do some pockets and flips. Okay, so in here, this is a 3-page album. I'm going to leave less because I want to try to get this out of 1 piece of paper. I usually come over 2.5, but this is a smaller album. I'm just going to do it at 1 inch. Okay, this will be attached to the inside front cover. To begin with, before and after every page, you need a 1/2 inch. You can do less. I wouldn't do less than half between pages. Because if you want to put on any embellishment, anything like that, I just double scored. You need that space. In my world of whole numbers, I just don't do fractions of fractions. I just don't. I make my hinges a 1/2 inch. I know that's pretty tall, but it gives your album more strength, and it's just easy math. So I just went over 1 inch, and you need 2 1-inch segments. So I just went over another inch. It's just easy to see it. So we have a 1/2 inch and then followed by 2 1 inches. So this is 1 page. So after every page, you need a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to 4. That's a 1/2 inch away. I am sliding out of my score mark, or my score, really badly on this thing for some reason. Okay, so there's our 1/2 inch. So 1 page, a 1/2 inch. So now we're at 4. We're going to go to 5 and 6. That's another page followed by a 1/2 inch. 1 more page, an inch and an inch, and our 1/2 inch. And we got it all. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3 pages. Boom. Chocolate. I could have left more room on there, but that's okay. All right, let's pull in our album. No, let's not pull in our album. Let's fold this thing up. I haven't crafted in a minute. So take your 2 1 inch segments. We're going to fold those together. All right. So that's your hinge. It looks awfully big for a 6 inch album, but it's easy math, and it will give it more strength. So I just always do a 1/2 inch or a whole inch for my pages. So there's your 1/2 inch in between, and then our last one right here. Okay, so I like to take them and fold them down. I'm gonna get my tool and just really work them. Fold them back this way. Burnish down. These are the hinges that's going to turn your album. So, right, you want those to bend. Okay, so let's turn this over and put score tape in between our hinges. So I have some right here. Boy, it's a mess. Let me cut this off. Okay, so put that over my arm. So open her up, and on the back of your 1 inch, pick one of them. You don't need tape on both. And put it up near the score mark where you folded. Actually, that doesn't really matter either. That's on the other side. You have to put score tape on both sides. I forget this. Anyway, but this, you will fold those together, right? So more score tape on the other side of your 1/2 inch. Burnish down on the other side of the 1/2 inch. And you're done. That's our 3 pages. So burnish really well. Okay. And then let's fold this thing up. All right. Everybody fold back. Let's pull you out. So take your little tool, pull off your tape. I am going to add glue because this is the hinge. This is the back side of the hinge. This is where we're gluing it all together. You have to put tape in to put your pages in, which is on the other side. But we want a strong hinge. So tape, glue in there, tape, just fold it forward. It knows right where to go. It's the nice thing about hinge building. It's no guesswork. I love it. So next piece of tape, glue where there's no tape, and just bring it forward. Perfect. Burnish it down really well. Okay, last piece of tape, a little bit of glue, and bring her forward. And burnish down. And because I am me and I'm feeling a little like this is very lax on that side compared to that side, I'm going to take this piece of paper that's sitting here and just glue it on here just to give it a little more width. I don't know that it will make any difference, but it will make me feel better. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it off right here. And if it's not really straight, or perfect here, like if this was really, it doesn't matter because you're going to cover that up with paper. Okay, so there's our hinge. Let's put it in the book. All right, our hinge is just sitting there. I'm going to grab a pencil. What you want to do is center these 3 pages in between this score mark where that bends and where that bends. You want to get these centered. And I don't really have a line to go by. It's not like a hinge. It's completely subjective. So try to get it in there straight and even, top to bottom, side to side. When you have that, when you feel good about it, take your pencil, go against your paper there and just draw a line. I think that helps a lot. When you put it in here with tape over it, you're going to need to know where you land. So I'm going to put tape all over the back of this. That's the next step. All right, I did put score tape all over the back. So now's the moment of truth. We'll put this on. So to do that, I just take off a couple of pieces of tape, not all of it by any means. So I'll probably do 3. Be very careful you don't drop it because you got exposed tape. But here's where your line helps you a lot. So come in, at an angle again. Make sure you're top to bottom, middle, and just trust your line. All right, so I'm going to go there and just push it down. Okay, now it's when you got to be careful not to drop, right? I've done it before. So take off your tapes. I always do this with score tape because I think it is, while glue is good, I don't know, I just trust the tape. All right, I'm going to hold my hinge down below because I don't want to drop this thing. Okay, so now I like to pick it up and just hold it tight and just pull it over. Just trust your tape, or trust your line, trust everything. So push it down really good. Go in between your hinges and push down. Okay, I'm seeing something. No, we're all good. We've just got to push it down. I didn't put tape butt to butt like I usually do, and I was afraid I was messed up, but we're not. All right, so now you do have to come back and score. You have to find that mark. I'm going to use the bigger ball because I don't want to go through this. But there's your line. So just kind of, let me use my ruler. I think it just fell safe. So put the ruler at the top where it is and find it at the bottom, and then you can feel safer about your score line. And just give it a couple of light passes. Then I like this edge. You can stick that in there and bend your album. So turn it around to be easier for me. Find my 2 lines. And there we go. Put that edge in there. And let's check it out. See where that's bending up right in there? I think that's where there's not tape. Learned a little lesson there. It'll be okay. So we're in the middle. I like that. So anyway, let's cut pieces of paper and cover this. Okay, I pulled out a piece of just regular old white paper, and I'm wondering if I cut it in half, it'd be 5.5. But I have this little wrinkle here where it didn't quite, so I'm going to go ahead and cover that up. You don't want to get to where your bending line is. Right, we're going to bend right there, and you want to be short of that. But I'm going to bring it up here snug and just mark it with a pencil. Actually, not quite so snug because I'll probably mat. So I'm going to come down a little bit so that my matting paper can go over that. Okay, and then just mark it with a pencil. And bring in my cutter. You know what? I'm going to grab another piece of paper. Oh, look at me trying to do this fast, and they're all sticking together. I'll cut 2 at one time because I've got my mark, right? And we're going to have one for the front and the back, or both ends. What am I trying to say? So there's one. We'll save those for pockets or something. And then here's the other line. I love to do two things at one time. Save those two. Okay. So bring this back in, and our papers will fit lovely. Not going over our bending line. We can still bend perfectly. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down with glue. I need to replace the blade. I can see little whiffies on the side of my white paper. That's why I usually use my big cutter, but I need to bite it and just... Actually, I'm going to go here to that edge. Put that down and then slide forward. Yeah, I just need to bite it and just go change the blade, but anyway... I'm going to turn this around just because it's easier to put this one. I am going to erase the mark. Okay. This will be fun to put together. I think once I put the no, I'm not going to put the pages in. I don't like to put in decorated pages into an album. So we'll do the flips and flaps, and then I'll probably decorate it. We're going out of town. I'll probably take this with me and do the decorating part in a separate video. Okay, so that is in. So now I need to think about it. Do I want to mat it? If I do, I need to do that first before I apply papers. So let me think about that. But our album is all done. Push that down. I can see that pulling up just a little bit. It's glue. You've got to give it a minute to dry. But this will be really cute. And yeah, doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long. Okay, I wasn't filming, but isn't that awesome? I hadn't done anything yet. I decided not to glue. So what I did was cut this piece of paper to fit, you know, away from the bending line, right? I am going to erase my marks. But I wanted to go ahead and start with the album because while I'm not going to insert the pages, I like to start at the beginning. The beginning to me is the inside front cover. So this is just paper out of that Bow Bunny. I hope it'll be cute. It's several years old, but it should work out. Just it usually does. So I guess that's directional. I don't really know. But anyway, I'm going to come over to the other side of that white paper and just put her down. Okay, now we've decided that this is the front, sorta, right? I think I'll write that on there and write the direction. Right? Okay. All right, so give that a minute. Then we're going to take one of these scraps. That's probably too little. This is another scrap from the album. It's probably the right size. We'll make a pocket out of that. All right, I have my scoreboard and my scrap. Since this is, I'm going to mark it because I'm in a hurry, and this will, let me show you how to do it in the quick on a hurry. First thing, you know, you need a 1/2 inch, right? So there's a 1/2 inch. So we can fold this back. Now you know exactly where you are, right? And so I'm going to mark over here. I'm going to come in just a little bit and mark just a little bit there, right? Put this in the scoreboard wherever at a whole number, and I'm going to score a 1/2 inch away from it. Yeah. So I can fold that. Nope, I got to score on the mark. I always forget which I mean to do. But me and my brain for math. Okay, so that's the right width. By the time we do a 1/2 inch here, I think it's going to be too tall. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to take it and make it 4 inches. It is 4 inches. I'm going to make it 3.5, and then we'll fold it. Okay, toss that. bring in the scoreboard, open this up. I'm going to cut off that extra paper. We don't need it. Score on the bottom, 1/2 inch. Let's go ahead and cut it off. Scissors. I'll cut right at that score mark. Okay, now we can cut our corners. Erase the line. Okay. And then we'll just fold there, burnish really well. So that is a quick pocket. We're going out to dinner and I've got a little bit of time. We're also going out of town, so it's pretty busy. But let's stick this on there. We'll find a cute piece of paper for it, and then I think I will just upload this video, and maybe tomorrow I can whip out some flips and flaps on pages and then just pack this away and take it with me on our trip. Put glue on all 3 sides, right up to the edge, and just center it on your paper. I'm going to leave a little space at the bottom and apply. It's glue coming out. I don't like it to come out on my pattern paper, but you know, it's okay. Okay, let me find a piece of paper for that. Okay, I found this piece of paper. I just cut it off of the bottom edge. This was in the book, in the little bow bunny. It had a bunch of other, you know. So I decided just to, it would fit the pocket. It's a little picket fence. I am going to cut it first down the length. And I'm going to mark it at the bottom because I want to leave the top of the picket fence. So I'm just going to mark it in there and cut that off. And then I want to think about where, if I want that bunny. I didn't realize it was so Eastery. And I don't think I want the bunny. So what I think I'm going to do is cut a 1/2 inch, or cut half of those flowers off, right? So that there's still a little bit of flowers. I'll cut it in between the fence posts. So with that, I get a little more of these flowers. So I'm just going to mark it. Get it where I want it and mark it right in there. And cut that off. I'll save that for something. So there's my little offshoots. So messy. This is why I don't show decorating very much. I'm going to erase my little mark. Just put some glue on it. And then at some point I will come in and make, I'll either find cutouts, cut aparts in the paper pack and fill in here, or I'll make photo mats. Well, somehow I'm going to make photo mats anyway, even if it is a cutout, but you know what I mean. If I have to make my own, that'll be fun too. I like doing that. So just right on the middle. Okay, spring instead of Easter. Alrighty, let's cut the video here, and I'll make some, we'll get back at it soon with putting flips on all those pages that we made. Have a great day, everybody.